Hey, hey, hey. What's going on, Chris?
I always get a kick out of that intro. I'm always hitting the beat back here. Like, yeah, like it's a hit. I appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate you for appreciating that. And I appreciate everyone who's watching us right now. Welcome to Keeping You Wise by Keeping It Real, where we bring authentic and real conversations to fuel the soul that you can share with others. This is the 6th episode where we will be discussing protecting your digital sanctuary. My name is Paula Bell, and I am here with my co-host, Chris Solomon, also known as Solo. How are you doing, Solo?
I'm doing good. Solo is doing good. This has been one of those, what the good Lord would say, character building weeks. And I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited to be on here with you and talk about this subject specifically because I think it's a good one. But let me ask you this real quick before we go. Where'd you get that shirt? That shirt's a hit. I like it. We just celebrated. Where'd you get that?
So let me tell you about this shirt real quick. So there are these two beautiful young entrepreneurs. I think they're probably around 10 or 11 years old, named Abby and Gabby.
Really?
And I was at the Juneteenth festival here in Iowa, and I had to buy their shirts. So this is their shirts. They are two wonderful ladies. Their mother is amazing. Regina is amazing. Awesome? She's amazing. But you can follow them on Instagram. They are known as the Abba Gab Twins. And I could drop that in the Abba Gab Twins. I could drop that in the comments at some point while we're talking too. But yeah, definitely go out and support. I love to support our young people, right? They're doing great things. So they're going to be some movers and shakers.
I know, right? I mean, their mom must be great. 10, 11 years old. They already have their own entrepreneurial business. That's pretty cool. That's good parenting. Hashtag social media has its benefits too, right? Because that's where people would go on and buy the shirts.
Right. That's true. So I will definitely drop that in the chat at some point in time. But really quick, let me just hit off these disclaimers right quick before I turn it over to you, Chris, or Solo. Let me call you Solo, so that you can introduce our panelists tonight. Real quick, Chris, I'm so used to calling you Chris. I'm going to get the Solo thing at some point. So Solo and I are not therapists. We do not offer any medical advice. We are not trained, qualified, or able to diagnose anything. So I just want to put that out there. We are doing this video cast so that we can just connect and chat informally and just talk to people. Normally, we go 45 minutes to an hour. It's real laid back. We try and do these every single month, and we also try and bring on guest speakers. At the end, we will tell you how you can connect to not only the guest speakers, but to us as well. But I don't want to take any more time towards that. Solo, I'm passing it over to you.
All right, so I have the pleasure of introducing 3 guests this time. We're getting like panel interviews.
Yes.
So we have 2 returning guests and we have a brand new phenomenal guest. So first and foremost, Lady J. Janae James did so well. We had such a good conversation that we had to bring her back. Just for our audience, Janae is actually a master life coach with the focus in guided meditation and goal setting. She grew up in Lexington, where she enlisted in the Air Force shortly after high school, and she really loves loving others and pushing them to be the best version of herself through fitness and life coaching, which are 2 of her main goals with everyone that she encounters. She takes pride in her work and strives to be a positive example to others to follow. And Janae, from her own account, biggest achievement in all of her life are her kids. Lady J, I love that your biggest achievement in your life are kids. That's awesome. I bet your kids.
My babies. I love them. They drive me crazy sometimes, but I love them.
They
are amazing. I am crazy. Yeah.
Okay, it's a good crazy though, right?
It is. I'm very high energy. I don't think I realize how energetic I am until people are like, "Oh, wait a minute, you do all of this? Slow down!" Like
people ask me, they say, "Solo, how do you go from 0 to 100 so quick?" It's like, look, I idle at like 97, so it's easy for me to go 3 extra miles an hour to get to that 100. But Lady J, thanks for being with us again.
Thank you for having me again. It's a pleasure.
Of course. Our second returning guest is the Brian Miller, B. Miller. Brian is a highly experienced sales and insurance professional with over 15 years of experience in the industry. He spent the last 13 years actually doing Medicare, insurance, training, development, leadership, coaching, and he's a very well-respected authority in the field in general. Brian embodies the qualities of servant leadership, always putting the needs of his team and client first. And I can honestly say that is the case. I've watched him in action. He demonstrates integrity, honesty, commitment in every interaction that he has, and trusting that trust and respect of his colleagues and clients alike. So B. Miller, Brian Miller, welcome back, sir.
Thanks, Solo. Appreciate it. Glad to be back.
I would also say that your baby girl would probably be your biggest accomplishment if you had to throw it out there, right?
That's true. Absolutely.
All right, so we're 2 for 2 on kids. My biggest accomplishment, I was just voted MVP of my church's Sunday kickball game, okay? It's a big deal. I know it's just a Sunday kickball game, okay? But I was out there doing things, all right? I got a little plastic medal. Biggest accomplishment in my world. Kids, close second. I'm just teasing. And last but not least, our brand new guest, Keisha Chester. Keisha's awesome. When I first met Keisha, way back, right? Keisha, energy.
Way back. Way back.
But Keisha Chester's mission is to empower a community to live a healthy lifestyle by manifesting positive change through motivation, mind transformation, and fitness. Her motto is real, raw, and relevant. That's who she is. Feeding the mind, body, and soul is what she does. Keisha's fitness career has allowed her to train, teach, travel, and speak at events and churches on health and fitness all across America. And now she's here with us. So thank you, Keisha, Brian, Lady J, for joining us.
Awesome. So you might be wondering, so we have these guests. What on earth does this have to do with your digital sanctuary? But what you'll realize is that all of us use social media in some shape or form. Some of us on here are business owners. So we use social media for business and for personal. So we're going to have a conversation about that. But you know how I like to do. I want to share a video first. There's only one. And if for some reason, those who are watching live, for some reason, the stream goes away, it'll come back. Just wait a minute. Chill. It will come back. Yeah, don't leave us. It'll come back.
Copywriters, look, we're not in the movie theater taping the movie. Okay, that's another channel. But don't take this one down when we show this video.
Exactly. So here we go.
Quiet space.
Landlines.
Some sense of authenticity. My flip phone, responsibility.
I miss my own silence.
I miss the slower pace.
Connection.
I like my old flip phone.
Conversations.
Anonymity.
Life. All of it.
You used to send a letter to someone and you have to wait to hear back from them. Now it's like, and if you wait like 10 seconds, like, what, are they pissed at me? What did I do?
I yearn for a time when you were in the moment a little bit more.
Yeah. You smell the flowers and stuff. I miss isolation.
You had to seek things out that you wanted to know about.
I miss people's manners before Twitter.
You would never be like, I hate you, I hate your clothes, I hate your parents, and you're fat, and why don't you eat bleach?
I guess I just miss being like bored.
I miss waking up and not looking at a screen.
Just having a good dinner.
I think it's hard to be present.
Before or after, it's still the same life.
There's a lot that I love about it. I love learning things.
I miss people paying attention in your conversation.
Right.
Memorizing someone's home phone number and calling them and like hoping they're home and then maybe going by their house and seeing if they're home.
I don't like that there's a shadow world that I can get into through a phone.
You just find people who think exactly like you and band together and make enemies of the other group of people that have found each other.
If you want to find some terrible things about yourself, go on Twitter.
There's a weird unenjoyment of the moment when you're just so focused on what other people are going to be thinking of how much fun you're having.
There is this thing now, it's like everybody has a self-brand. Everybody's sort of like the star of their own reality show, even if you have nothing to do with Hollywood. That's just the way social media is set up.
Oh my God, I just went to the award show and I face-tuned my face.
I'm just looking for likes and I'm looking for followers.
Social media is relatively new. It's still an experiment. I think that there is a chance that at some point we collectively will be like, that was a terrible idea. Let's not do that again.
I think he may be right.
Right?
It's just my opinion.
So what is everyone's opinion? What do you think of social media?
I'd love to hear the group's opinion first. Keisha, what do you think?
I like we all know that social media it can be good, but it can also be bad. And I noticed with social media, I will tell you for me what I noticed about myself once I started on social media, because I was just like, oh my God, I have to do social media. Please don't tell me I have to do this, for my business, for my
Yeah.
fitness business. But in order to promote, it was something that I said, okay, Keisha, you have to do. But it takes you away from everything. I do notice that it, in the beginning, it would take me away from everything to the point where I was out of the element of listening to hear, but so quick to listen to respond. Yes, that's where social media, I was literally like, okay, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just knowing that I have to respond to what you're saying, but I wasn't stepping back so I can hear you.
I feel you. I feel to Keisha's point, like social media and just our digital age in general has really jacked up our attention spans. At least if you're like me, it's very difficult to pay attention. I feel like this instant gratification, microwave type information age that we're in isn't necessarily the best thing to us. Obviously, we'll talk about some of the benefits from my perspective, but I remember a time where like information was valuable. Like when I was younger, I was listening to the song and I was like, who wrote the song? Who sings the song? Oh, that's Tom Petty. And he was talking about something like from his like hometown. I'm like, where'd Tom Petty grow up? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, okay. So I asked somebody a couple of days later because it was still on my mind. Like, I don't know. Ask this person. A couple of days later, ask that person. I don't know, but Billy, expert, loves Tom Petty. Ask Billy. Didn't see Billy for like 2-3 weeks. And I'm like, Billy, hey, question. Where did Tom Petty grow up? And I don't remember what he said. Let's just say Nashville. And I'm like, yes, Nashville. And it was like, so I know now. Like I feel so accomplished because of getting something so insignificant. Like where did Tom Petty grow up? Now it's like, where did Tom Petty grow up? Nashville. That's cool. Let me just throw that away forever. So there's something to be said about like the difficulty of getting something even insignificant that makes it significant, and the ease of getting something significant that makes it insignificant, which really just jacks up my head, attention span, all that kind of stuff, Keisha. So I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
So, Lady J, I know you are active on certain social media platforms, right?
So you.
Oh yeah, she's on TikTok and Insta. I follow her. So and she has a large following on TikTok.
2.1 million views.
So what are your thoughts on social media, and how do you protect your energy when you're engaging on social?
I protect my energy by honestly shutting craziness down. Like the moment, that's one thing that I do not play about. I don't play about it when I'm not on social media. So I'm definitely not going to play about it because people are crazy on social media. For some reason, it's like they've gotten this, so you like liquid courage, like when you're out at a bar, you had a couple of drinks and you're like, oh, now I have the courage to, go talk to somebody. Well, I feel like they now have that barrier now to where they feel a little too comfortable to like ask certain questions or get in your DMs and things like that. So I absolutely shut it down I nip it in the bud so quick. You have to though, because if you give somebody an inch, they're gonna take a yard. That's human nature. People are going to test boundaries. So you have to stand firm in your boundaries.
100% agree. And hold on, one quick question, Solo. One really quick question, because before I forget, Brian, I know that you had mentioned that you really aren't on social.
Not at all.
Mm-hmm.
At all.
So I would like to hear, why are you not on social?
I think that boundaries has a lot to do with it. I feel very grateful to have been born at a time when social media didn't exist and have gone through my entire childhood up until I think it was my senior year in high school, 2004, that Facebook came out, and it was the first social media platform out there. But throughout
Brian's
my
Facebook was fire.
throughout my childhood, I had no involvement on that. If I to that video we watched, to those points, if I wanted to get to know somebody, I had to go and engage face to face with them. I had to have the courage to walk over to that person, to engage directly with them and be in a conversation. I couldn't hide behind my screen. So I think that there's things that courage being one of those of the things that had helped me develop. And protection, I think, is the other thing as well. I had a Facebook account in high school, but there were certain people that I didn't really want anything to do with later in life, that I knew if I distanced myself from currently in the moment, in the now, then I'd be in a great position to not have to engage with them in the future. And staying away from Facebook and other social media platforms helped me do that. I noticed that gosh, I think back, I had like 2,500 friends on Facebook, and I spent hardly any time on there at all, but somehow I had 2,500 friends, people I didn't even know, people's cousins, brothers, sisters, wives, nieces, nephews, or my
90% was
friends.
female. He was in high school. Okay, he didn't know him, but he was in all the DMs.
And I found myself burning a lot of time, useless time on Facebook when it was just Facebook. Now you got Twitter and Foursquare and Instagram and the new one's TikTok. And I'm sure there's a half dozen more out there that I don't even know exists, that people are just burning their life away. So I find my time is better spent elsewhere other than social media. And some of my personal beliefs behind why I don't do it. Now, let me set the record straight. I do have a LinkedIn profile, right? But I have that because my professional growth is important to me, and my ability to outsource and make an impact on the lives of others as a leader, something that I value and keep very close to me. That's important to me. So I do have a LinkedIn.
And I think that's interesting because I have a LinkedIn as well, but I don't consider myself on any social media either. I don't have a Facebook. I don't have an Instagram. I don't have a TikTok. I make TikTok videos, but I just send them to my wife, and it's me being goofy, right? 5-second clips. Only she sees them. They're hilarious. But I have a LinkedIn, and I don't consider it social media. And I think that goes back to what you were saying, Lady J. There's a certain agreement that you make in society when you're interacting with people.
Yeah.
There's an agreement that if you cross lines, there's consequences. Yeah. Like me and Brian are having a conversation. We're face to face. Brian's like 6'5". I know that if I cross a line too far, he's going to punch me in my face. And that allows me to stay in my boundaries. Right. I don't want this big dude punching me in my face. And the same thing kind of goes with a lot of stuff. I know that if I while out on LinkedIn, I'm a hashtag get canceled. My work is going to see it. That is not conducive of the type of relation or the type of professional that you're in. There's consequences. But when you're on a lot of these social media platforms interacting with people, there's no real life consequences. You could flex on people, and it's, hashtag P. Diddy Rockaway. No one knows who that person is. And there's no real consequences. I remember the movie. What was it? I think it was Mallrats. Did you guys ever see Mallrats? So Mallrats was just, I know it's
been a while, but yes, I've
seen Mallrats, right, Lady J? So they had Jay and Silent Bob. You guys know who Jay and Silent Bob are? So watch Mallrats. Come on, guys. You guys gotta watch some Mallrats. It's a classic. So Jay and Silent Bob, like, essentially were in this chat room and people were like talking trash about them, right? They got a bunch of money. They flew around the country, and it was like a comedy. So it was just a comedy. And it's like, are you P. Diddy Rockaway 420 online? Yeah. Did you say, and I quote, Jay and Silent Bob are a bunch of punks, and if they were in front of me, I'd spit in their face? Yeah, I said that. And then looked at each other, like grabbed the kid and like started like fighting him and beating him up and stuff like that. Like, those are the real consequences of saying some of these disrespectful, nasty, terrible things in real life, and there's no consequences on social media, which gets kind of scary. So maybe that's why I have a LinkedIn as well, and I don't consider it social media because there's still a agreement that we're going to remain professional or remain normal on there.
And that's what I like about LinkedIn, you know, because you can make professional connections, and that's what I see LinkedIn as, because I have a LinkedIn as well. I don't use it as often, but I do have a LinkedIn, and I do use that for like professional contacts. Instagram is kind of it's a blur. It is my professional account. I have a personal account, but it's my professional account that I do, you know, my morning motivations on and everything like that. But for LinkedIn, I really do think that they set their platform with the boundaries of this is a professional network. So, and I think that's why LinkedIn is different and considered different than other social media platforms.
Yeah, I'm a TikToker, meaning all my fitness workouts and things are posted there, and you know, and I just recently started on TikTok, but it's building because I do post there. And then I also have my Facebook page, which I'm like Lady J, but it's all positive. I just put positive things on there. But I totally agree with Lady J and Solo when it comes to that courage, because people will hide behind a keyboard. They will definitely hide behind a keyboard.
Real quick.
And in my mind, some of the things that I read, and I'm like reading these things, and I'm saying, oh my God, if someone would have said that to me, you know, I'm gonna be straight up, you know, real wrong.
Yeah.
You don't want this smoke. That's what I'm thinking. You don't want this smoke.
You don't want these problems.
Right. You know, so it is, and like I said in the beginning, it does. It's not all bad, but society it's just pushing and going in that direction. Every time you're on there, it's always something negative, or someone's posting this, and then the pictures of people in Walmart. It's just always crazy stuff. Just always crazy stuff, and to the point where you just like it has to be a better way. It has to.
I think it's because of like human nature too. It's like designed to be set up that way. In that, all right. So 250,000 years ago, Homo sapien comes on the scene, and we're really good at seeing like bad news, right? Like the bushes ruffling the leaves. What the hell was that? We're not thinking like, oh man, the breeze, it's beautiful, it's so nice out here. Oh, we're thinking there's a saber-toothed tiger. There might be a snake or something over there. So we're paying attention to it, and we're engaged. And then it is just the breeze, like, okay. But like we're really in tune. Our brain is in tune with like negativity and bad news because it keeps us alive. Because if it was a saber-toothed tiger, we're out. If it was a snake, we're jumping back. Because so social media is designed for attention. Like what's getting attention? And the negativity is a lot more attention like addicting than anything else. Because I'm reading some of those comments, and I'm talking to, like, if they would have talked to me like that, hold on, let me see what the next person said. Oh, what? Yeah, that's my people right there. Let me see what the next person said. And then all of a sudden, you know, I'm 3 hours in, and I'm watching World Star videos, and it's like, what happened? Okay, what happened with my night? And it's like, wow, that works. And then the advertisers are like, this was a hit. Mr. Solomon clicked on this new vitamin because he was watching, and then all of a sudden I got some weird vitamins coming. I don't even know what happened. And it's like my attention, my biology is feeding into the negative algorithms that just what I'm crying about in the first place. Yeah. So
can we go a little deeper on that though? So it is easy to get caught into like some of the things that I see even on news articles, right? Somebody just died and people are making fun of it. Like even watch the submarine that went down to the Titanic, right? People were making fun of that. So my question to you all is when you are on social, how do you balance what comments to actually respond to versus what comments to give no energy to? Because there's sometimes you do need to respond because you might need to set some people straight because they're coming at you and it will have a negative impact or consequence to you. But we don't have to respond to everything. So how do you balance that on social? And it happens on LinkedIn too. I see it on LinkedIn. I see nice spirited debates on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn isn't free of this.
Oh no.
It happens on all social media platforms.
I sit with it.
Do you?
Yes, I'm not. I don't. It's not a knee jerk reaction with me. So, when I am, looking at somebody else's posts and I by chance happen to see some of the comments, whether I agree with them or not, I have really decided to mentally decide that I am not going to go back and forth with nobody. Either I agree with it or I don't. I respect your decision to agree with it or not. I'm not going to band the troops together to attack this person because they said something hurtful, because what you're doing is giving them attention, and that's not what we want to do. Because I personally would like to see a lot of negativity be removed from social media. However, First Amendment, right? So everybody can pretty much say what they want because they have that right. I get it. So I also have the right to keep it moving and project positivity on my platform. So when I see a comment that I don't necessarily agree with, or somebody's coming at my neck about something that maybe I have said, I approach it with tact, but after I've sat on it for a little bit. So they are not going to get a response from me right then and right then. Well, one, because I'm not by my phone like that, but two, you're going to say something 9 times out of 10, you're going to say something that you don't really want to, just because you're acting out of emotion. And I would rather tactfully put you in your place that you came to my page. We don't do this over here.
You're a better person than I go hard. I'm in there hard.
I'm like Lady J. I pause, ponder, pray, then I proceed.
Pause, ponder, pray, proceed.
Yeah, because I know how I can get. Hey, everybody, Lady J and Paula, they know me, so I know how I can get. But I've grown to the point where it's like this. I'll if you post something, and of course people make a slick comment or they say something, I'm now in the mindset, Keisha, hey, that's their opinion. You posted it. It is what it is. 9 times out of 10, if you put something on that platform, someone's going to have something to say about it while it's on that platform. But if it is something that I have to address, I do. I sit back and I'm like Lady J. I pause, ponder, pray, then I proceed. And I'm also one, especially if it's on Facebook, if I need to, I will go to that person and say, hey, check Messenger.
Ooh.
I do that.
I say,
hey,
check Messenger. Check your front door real quick.
Yeah, check Messenger so you and I can have this conversation. And people, they check Messenger because by that time but I'm good because I always think about, hey, I have my mother on my page, my pastor's on my page. I'm very I'm not going to, and I'm not going to be using any profanity and doing that anyway. But still, I feel like if I do approach it up under their comment, then that causes that battle and that war to where I could just say, hey, check Messenger so we can have this conversation. I
like that. Pause, ponder, pray, and proceed.
Yes.
Keisha? That's a hit. Me, I'm more like
that's my pastor, Pastor Jomo. He taught us.
That's a good one.
Pastor
I like
who?
that.
Pastor Jomo Cousins.
Hashtag what church?
Love First Christian Center.
Hashtag Love First Christian Center. Pastor, giving good keywords. He would be mad at me for saying this. I got 2 P words. I see it and get pissed, and then I start punking people. So
Lord have
that's
mercy.
why I gotta get up. I've never been the medium switch. You know me, Paula.
Reel them in, Paula. Reel them in.
I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do any of this stuff. Why?
Right.
Because I don't have a few. I'm gonna get drunk. I don't have a cigarette. I'm gonna be a full-blown smoker. I can't do medium. I'm either abstinence or all in. That's why I had to get rid of it, right? I see people acting a fool. I'm like Googling, what's his brother's number? What's this guy's home address? Saying all this craziness, right? He said, what about my wife? And so I had to get off it. It was just a negative environment. But it's also, I feel like social media is like a fire. You can cook dinner with the fire.
Mm-hmm.
You use it very productively, or you can cook yourself with the fire, depending on how you use it. I've always been the type that cooked myself. I couldn't handle it, so I had to get off of it. And to your point, Lady J, and to your question, Paula, I think the people that make fun of these things, like the sub and like these people getting hurt, shot, dying, they do it because of the attention. They're seeking attention. And the attention is what fuels them. We fuel them with our rage. We fuel them with our comments. We fuel them with, reacting, as opposed to Lady J and Keisha, where we smother them with our silence. Like, you don't even get a response. Like, they're sitting there like, oh, I wonder what they said. Nothing. And they're probably sitting over there angry. But I also think, Lady J, you said something wise. You said, one, I don't be by my phone like that. I think that's honestly the newness. The social media gets the bad rap, but really what it is we have supercomputers in our pockets. We have access to all of Earth's information. Anybody can get a hold of us at any time. I personally, not only do I not do the social media, but I don't do the phone. My phone, 90% of the day, is on do not disturb. You can't call me and I just answer. You don't get to just interrupt the things that I'm doing when I'm doing them with like something that you want to get a hold of me. I will check my phone when I have time to check my phone and call you or hit you back, because being interrupted in what I've planned for my day is just so different than I think that we've evolved to be. Imagine like when someone ran up and said, hey, I need your attention. It was usually a problem. So I don't even take phone calls like that. I think the cell phone, not being by your phone like that is really healthy, Lady Jane. I love that.
So would you say this is an addiction then?
Oh,
would you call it? Would you,
yeah.
Absolutely. I feel all that energy come towards me. Oh yes.
I really like the analogy that Solo used. It's like the fire, and you can get some good things out of fire. But social media, I feel like there are far too many people waiting with a can of gasoline, ready to throw it on your fire, and just waiting for the moment to spark controversy around anything that you say. You could be pro or against whatever the topic is, and people are going to hate you for it one way or the other, because there are going to be people out there that are just itching for the opportunity to take your words and twist them into whatever message they want people to see versus the message that you're trying to get across to one another, to different people.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And so let me ask you all this then. So it's an addiction, and I agree. I totally felt that. So how do you detox? How would you tell somebody to detox from this addiction? I've been guilty of this. The first thing I do in the morning is pick up my phone and look at my phone, and then I get sucked in and I'm looking at emails and text messages and all of that, right? And so I consciously try not to do that anymore, or trying to get off the phone by a certain time at night so I can actually have a peaceful sleep so that my mind isn't still going, right? So how would you tell someone to detox if they struggle?
So, yeah, I love that you asked this question. There's actually this book that my mom turned my wife onto. It's called Gift from the Sea. And it was written by Anne Morrow Lindbergh. And it talks about how you get back to the process of simplifying your life. Before social media, before all these things occurred, like I was talking about earlier, my childhood, life was so simple. Yeah, I think about my dad's routine as I was growing up. He woke up, he made his coffee, he walked down to the end of the driveway, picked up his newspaper. Hell, he even opened it and started reading it on the way back into the house. But everything in the newspaper was real life news. It was things that impacted your life. It was what's going on in your community, what's going on in the state, across the country, the economics, the weather. If you wanted to fuel your passion for sports, you could do that as well. You learned about world, controversy and things that were happening out there. But it seemed like there was more real things occurring in those moments. And I think of my routine. I turn over, I snooze the alarm, but my alarm is my phone. So the first thing I see are all the notifications that came in overnight. And whether it's Fox News or a text message or an email or a LinkedIn post, before I'm even out of bed, I'm scrolling my phone for 10, 15 minutes, just looking at all these different things.
Smoking Samsung.
And that's it. And that's the beginning of my day. So let me get back to the answer to the Paula's question. Gift from the Sea talks about simplifying your life, removing things that are clutter, both in your mind and in your personalized life. It talks about distancing yourself from your phone, to your point, Solo, setting it on the counter, getting to it once in a while, maybe looking at it once a day versus always keeping it in your pocket. It talks about getting rid of other unnecessary things in your life, whether it be people that play no role or just a negative role in your life, items in your possession, cleaning out your closet, and getting rid of the old shirts and clothes you haven't worn in 2-3 years. Do something useful with those. Donate them to people that are in need of them instead of letting them collect dust. And so I highly recommend you read this book when you have an opportunity, Gift from the Sea. It's a good read, and it really changes your perspective. It helps you realize what life could be like if you simplified things and removed yourself from the clutter that exists. And in this case, it's social media.
I love that. I call the time before computers and cell phones and social media the before time. The before time really was a lot more simple. What about you, ladies? Do you have any advice? Because I don't have any advice because I'm so addicted to my phone. It's like my last vice, the last bastion of just addiction, because I've battled with smoking. I've never been a heavy drinker, but I drank alcohol as well. So I'm not the best person other than just sheer willpower and saying stop to ask about how you break addictions. So how would you break the phone addiction?
I think it depends on the person. It's kind of like hoarders. How you have to tread lightly with hoarders.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the same concept with people and their phones. Some people can go to cold turkey. Like me, I wasn't always this way. I actually used to be really bad, and to
Really?
the point where it was affecting me in my personal life. So I went cold turkey. I shut off all of my social medias and just did not even bother with it for weeks. I just kind of went ghost. And then I popped up one day and they're like, "Oh, you're back." And it made me realize a couple of things. One, you get so much more done and you have that
do, don't you?
clarity.
Yeah.
You have that clarity in your mind when you clear out social media. But also, when you pick that phone back up and you turn your social media on, you didn't miss a thing.
It's true.
That part.
That's it.
You didn't miss a thing. You may have followers, and don't get me wrong, I appreciate every single one of my followers. But you have followers that want to check up on you and everything, and they may look forward to your content, but you didn't miss a thing. Like, I'm actually starting to see reels that I've seen several years ago, but it's like making its way back around. So you think you're missing out, but you're not. And going back to what you said, Solo, about your attention span. There's actually studies out there where our attention spans are significantly less than what they used to be. Yes. And if you think about it, so I see what you did there. So there's significantly less. And if you think about it, those who are trying to go viral, have you noticed the trend where take like TikTok, you've got like your 1 minute video and then they bumped it to the 3 minutes. And I think you can even do a 10-minute video now on TikTok. But what goes viral?
The 32 seconds?
10-second videos.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes.
If you can keep somebody's attention span for 30 seconds, I applaud you.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've even noticed it in some of my content. I'll do experiments. I'll do a short video and then I'll do a longer video. And if you compare the two between the likes and what actually people are engaged in, it's the shorter ones.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I totally agree. I have to, because like for instance, I have not watched television in 5 years. I don't watch TV. Yeah, I don't watch TV. because I was one of those reality show, you know, oh, I gotta see what's going on out there, girl. You know, one of those. But I did a fast. I did a fast. And that's something that I prayed about, and I said, God, I need you to help me with this. So even when it comes to my social media, Keisha, what's important? What's important? Family is important.
Yep.
Okay. Ministry is important to me, and my career is important to me. Social media, I get it. It helps me to promote my business, but my business is still going to thrive, and I'm going to be able to do what it is that I need to do because of who Keisha is, but not constantly driving and pushing on social media. That's something that I had to realize. So my advice to someone is, what's important to you? Okay. If social media is important to you, have at it. But if you have a purpose and you have some goals and you have children and you have family and things that you should be focusing on, like Brian said, cleaning out your closet and doing things in the garage, and you'll realize, oh my God, there is so much more out there. Yeah, what's important?
You know, I love how you phrase that. What's important, Keisha, and it makes me think of this interaction I had with my oldest niece. She's going to be a sophomore in high school this year, and one time I caught her what appeared to be the death scrolling, I think is what they call it, where they're just scrolling video to video, and she's watching this one of the Kardashians pages on Instagram, catching up on their life, and she's just engulfed in her phone going through this stuff. And like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, check out what Kardashian did. They're on a boat and they're doing all these fancy things. Look at how they're living their life. And I'm like, why are you so invested in their life and how they're living their life? How are you living your life?
Right.
On the couch. This is my life. And it just blew me away that was her focus. That was her intention. That is what she looked forward to doing, was looking at the people she followed on a daily basis and the things that they did in their own lives rather than living her own life.
It's crazy.
Living to her was watching them live. Where when I grew up and I was a kid, we didn't have phones.
No.
Maybe had a video game console, but who cared? I was outside. I was out back, running around, playing in the neighborhood, getting into trouble, doing whatever I could other than sticking next to an electronic device. And instead, kids are on the couch just...
Yeah. I think that's, to Brian, your point, one of the reasons why we're having all of these unintended consequences into the realm, Keisha and Lady J, what you have when it comes to health and fitness. Like, why do we have an obesity epidemic? Why do we have folks that haven't moved for so long? Is it really that we're eating all that much, or is it just we're not moving? Like, we're just sitting there moving our fingers. That's like our exercise. You know what I mean? I can't burn too many calories.
Right.
I think that the detox, maybe one thing that we could do is get out there and move more. Just get out in nature more. Like, go on a vacation. I remember I just went to the beach with my family, and there was no cell phone service. And I was like, freaking out for like the first day. No Netflix. What do you mean? This bootleg Airbnb? After a day, it was cool. Like, what did I do? I went to bed early, listened to the ocean, and fell asleep and got great sleep. I woke up early, went and worked out, went to the beach and built sandcastles with my son and ate good food and hung out and talked around the dinner table, and it just felt so much better than just watching a movie and just like turning your brain off. It's interesting.
You know what, too, Solo? People put on Instagram what they want you to see. People put on TikTok what they want you to see.
Exactly.
Half of what you're seeing isn't really what they're going through. So you're seeing all this glamour, you're seeing all this greatness. And at the end, if you watch it, at the end, there's a lot of mental illness behind that. Because how many people do you know that's gone viral but that are no longer with us?
Oh yeah.
And the facade that they had up is, oh, I'm so happy. I'm living the best life. I'm doing all of this stuff. They're going to allow you to see what they want you to see. And I think people get caught into that fantasy and don't realize there's other aspects of that person. There's other dimensions of that person. It's just not what you see on social. I do that. You think when I do a step class Lady J and Keisha, you know this. You know when I do a step class, I want to put up on social when I'm messing up. Not unless I'm doing a blooper reel. But if I'm trying to get people in there, and let's say I was on the step and I fail, I'm not gonna put that up there. Unless I'm doing a blooper
retake.
Reel. Right? I'm gonna do it until I get that thing right.
Hey, Paula, I'm doing it right now. I got the Einstein in the back. I got the quote. I got a jacket on, bro. I got shorts on right now. It's a
there
mess
it is.
here. I need to clean this room up.
That's that COVID outfit right there.
See all that. Right. You can see what I want you to see. So you're thinking, damn, that brother Solo is looking kind of sharp. I got the same shorts on I had yesterday. I'm smelling kind of funky, probably, right? So you don't see that. I know.
Can't tell he hadn't showered, you know. You
I will
can't
say
see
this,
that.
Brian. It's funny that your niece was scrolling, watching that person live a life that they're not even living. Because how many times have we been with somebody when we're doing something like on the boat or at the beach or at a dinner, and they're just, let me just get a picture of this. It's like, just be in the moment.
Right.
Like, you're not even here right now.
Right.
Like someone else is wanting to be you, and you ain't even wanting to be you because you're putting it on that for them. Like, well, no one's even living a life anymore. They're just living by proxy, and the person they're living by proxy ain't even living the life that they think that they're living because they're living it for you to be watching it. So it's like we're zombies for each other, and it's like,
and we're not going to talk about it and say you are not that nice looking because those filters, baby.
Yeah,
right.
Some of these
you are not that fine.
Yeah, like it's out of control.
We see you for real, and we're angry.
Right.
I know, right? Yeah, right.
You don't even look like the same person. That's what you look like in real life.
Y'all are making me scared for my children. Let me ask you this before we go, and I know we're almost at time, but like, how can I protect my son from this? How can I protect my son from this world? Like, have you all seen that Dove commercial? That little girl? Did you see that? It's a Dove commercial. Google that Dove commercial. I dare you. It'll hit you in all the feels. It's about this little cute girl, and they taped her. It's a baby, and she was growing up, and she's sweet, and she's cute. They got her first cell phone, and then you could just see her changing. Starts becoming like anorexic and bulimic, and just because she starts comparing herself and all this other stuff. And it's like the dangers of social media. How can I protect my son against morphing his amazing to fit a photoshopped life of perfection that people are just BSing in the first place? Like, any ideas on how to protect our kids from this world?
You know,
you can't.
No, you can't. And I you know, and I know that's kind of, I say that because you protect them by letting them know what's out there, but also instilling love in your child so that they know who they are before they get out into the real world. Because the moment you give them a cell phone and you stop interacting with your babies is the moment you have lost.
Yeah, that's good. I'm not giving my kid a cell phone. He's gonna have one of them old school Razor cell phones. He ain't gonna have
flip phone.
Call me and you can text. Just like I ain't gonna come up here, son. This is what we call a crack pipe. Take a little hit. See how you like it. Maybe you'll, you know, like, I just think that it's bad. You know, my son doesn't need access to that craziness. I mean, it's a bad example.
That was a little extreme example.
Right.
I'll go as far as to say that I think that you can take precautions. And to Lady J's point, you can educate them. You can help them understand where there is a need for such things. Right. To your point just a moment ago, I'll give them a prepaid cell phone from Walmart. It ain't got social media on it. It can talk and text. Man, when I was in high school, if you had unlimited talk and text, you were the shit.
You were balling.
You were king if you had unlimited talk and text.
That's true.
You didn't even need no data. You just needed to be able to talk and text your head off.
Yeah.
And that was it. But you take precaution. You take precautionary measures. You raise them in the way that that you were raised. You shield them from those types of things, or some of the excessiveness of those things.
Brian, I think that you just inspired me. That's it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get my son one of them old school beepers. I'm gonna like, look, I'm gonna beep you, and that means come home. but you ain't gonna have no cell phone. Maybe you'll get unlimited talk and text one day if you earn it. But other than that, I'm gonna get him a beeper. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm going old school. You know
but
what?
Solo, the thing is though, even if you do that, they have access to other kids, and they have access to other kids who have those devices, right? So it really is about education and having conversations that we did not have with our parents growing up. I've had some conversations with my kids I never had with my parents at a younger age, and you have to be open and comfortable with that, and just they just have access to every and anything. And a lot of these schools now, you're using tablets, you're using a lot of electronic devices, and it's required in order for you to do your work. So they have access. They have access. And if they really want to find out something, they will find a way.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Because, I'm so glad you said that, Paula. I'm so glad you said that. Because what did you do as a kid when you really wanted to do something? You were going to find a way.
You did it.
From hell or high water, you were going to do it.
Yeah.
You were going to do it.
So you can't stop them if they really want to do something. That's anybody, not even just your kids. That's anybody. You can't stop them if they really want to do something.
That's
you might as well just educate them.
That's a good point.
And Solo, the last thing I'll add into that is that there's one thing that all of us in this room possess that our parents didn't possess when it comes to social media, and that's the wisdom of knowing what it does. The good, the bad, and the ugly. So our conversations with our kids can be educational, can help set the right boundaries, can help them understand what you can get out of it, but also what are the repercussions of using it the wrong way. So when Facebook came out, my parents didn't know what that was. It was brand new. Everybody had a Facebook. They had a Facebook.
Right.
You know, Twitter came
I
out.
remember your mom's
Everybody got a
Facebook.
Twitter. Exactly. All right. Everybody does, right? You know, we have the wisdom of knowing what it can cause. And I think that's something that most people don't have, especially when it comes to innovation. When something's brand new, you don't know what the ramifications, what the long-term side effects and issues are going to be 10, 15 years down the road. All of us in this room, we now possess the wisdom and understanding of that. And that gives us an advantage, especially when it comes to raising our kids the right way.
I appreciate that wisdom too, team, because I think about back in my own personal upbringing. My mom, dad, they didn't drink, they didn't smoke. My dad to this day has never touched a drop of alcohol, never touched a cigarette, never touched a drug or anything. And I went off on the party deep end, not because, I didn't know it was wrong, but because it was so wrong that I rebelled against it and wanted to do anything that I could. I'm over here, I'm going to get you a beeper. Next thing I know, you're going to be a TikTok influencer. And I'm going to go the opposite direction, right? It's about educating and at least opening up that space, Paula, to your point, to be in there, to have a conversation. I want my son to come to me and say, Dad, I'm feeling like this because I'm comparing myself to Billy over here, and talk about it. And then us talk through it and make him understand and feel better about what reality is, as opposed to hiding it from me and just feeling like that in his own. And then me go in his room one day and he's having suicidal thoughts or something like that. So I appreciate the wisdom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, wow, y'all, look, we almost been on for an hour. This hour be going fast now. This is gonna be going, because I think I could have more conversation just on the whole cyberbullying, on all of that, right? Because that thing there is real. My son and my daughter went through it in 2020 when they were, they were real vocal, but I was proud of mine because mine was shutting people down. My daughter and all of them were just shutting people down. She was like, this is my page. If you don't like what I'm saying, get off my page. I mean, you don't need to be on my page, right? And it's sort of like that sort of confidence is what you got to build in your kids, that they don't allow the cyberbullying. And my son has shut down people for bullying people on the LGBTQIA community and been like, no, you don't do that. If you can't say anything nice, get off my page. So you can teach them. You can give them the wisdom. And that's even for us as adults, because sometimes we as adults don't act right on social. And our kids are watching.
That's right.
If you don't think they're watching, they're watching. and watching to see what you're going to say and how you're going to move and how you're going to navigate that situation. So that's why I be telling people, watch how you act on social, because you never know who's watching.
You never know.
That's a good point. And we teach by the clarity of our example to our kids. So if they see us wilding, you sure better believe that they're wild.
Right.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, okay, real quick, because we have a wonderful panelists here who y'all are coming back, just to let you know again. So, this is to let y'all know it's going to happen again.
Lady J, we're going to be co-hosts before the end of this.
Look, I'm for it. I'm all for it. Why?
It's like, look, Solo, one more crack joke about kids and you're gone, okay?
Don't invite Solo. Don't invite him.
But here are the social beats for our panelists. You heard that some are more active on social than others. So if you do want to connect, you know how to use social media, right? We're leveraging social media to talk about social media. You can take a real quick screenshot or whatnot, or go ahead and follow Keisha on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Lady J on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and Brian on LinkedIn. And then if you also want to follow Chris and I have way more social media than Chris. So
I right. Podcast, I hit a smoke bomb and I'm out. You can't even call me from this podcast. I called him, he's on Do Not Disturb. You beat me, page me, okay? I'll hit you back.
I don't even know what to say. I'm gonna have to help my co-host. They're going through some things tonight, but you can find Chris on LinkedIn. If you want to connect with him professionally, you can find him on LinkedIn. So with that, does anyone have any parting thoughts before we call it a wrap?
I just want to thank you all for having me out again. This is always great conversation, great wisdom, great things that I take away from this each and every time. So appreciate you, Paula. Solo, thanks for inviting me back. Good to see you again, Lady J, and very nice to meet you, Keisha.
We love you too, Brian. Always a pleasure. Keisha, Lady J, you guys killed it as usual. And Paula, just to be clear, you cannot find me on LinkedIn. It's blocked. I don't take.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I don't have any social media you can get a hold of me. If you want to see Solo, you show up to the podcasts and comment in the chat. That's it. Other than that, catch me on the flip side, see me on the street. If I'm in the gas station, say what's up, but you can't find me on social media. I'm old school. Only people that currently know me can find me.
Oh, so that's why I can find you.
That's why you can see me. Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, Chris, I know I'm not losing my mind. I see LinkedIn. All right. So as Chris just said, if you didn't know him before, you're not going to know him now.
Show up. You can know me. You can know my thoughts. You can talk in the chat. You can be here, but just show up to this, because this is where you're going to get the mind of Solo, and it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a wild ride, as you can see, right, Paula?
Oh yes, yeah. You get wilder and wilder each year, my friend. Wilder
every day.
And wilder.
Every day.
Right.
I would also like to say thank you for the opportunity. Very informative. Like I'm taking back things where I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And I have to get that book, Brian. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you again, Paula. Chris, Solo. Woo!
Have a good time? Did you have fun?
Listen, I'm like, oh, somebody crazier than me.
Hey, as long as you have fun. I like this guy.
Yes.
And
always, Lady J, it's great seeing you.
Oh, yeah.
You as well, Keisha. The Solo, Paula, thank you guys again for having me on the show. I absolutely love it. It's always a pleasure. Y'all keep shining, keep grinding. Y'all are amazing.
Oh yeah, all y'all gonna be back. So just be ready. I'm telling you that now. Just be ready. Something's gonna pop off where we're gonna need to have another deep conversation, and it might be an uncomfortable one, but it's going to be a needed one.
All right.
I'm having some ideas because I know that the three of you all can handle it no matter what we talk about. So I think we can have some really great combo. But with that, y'all, it is a wrap. Thank you, everyone who joined. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for engaging and sending the likes and the emojis. We appreciate that. Make sure to join us on our YouTube channels and to social media that everybody has that wants to be there. So as we reach out to you, we want to make sure that you're also reaching out to others and teaching them what you learned. And so, hold on, we got a comment. What does comment say? Oh, thank you all so much. Definitely took notes. Pause, ponder, pray, and proceed. So there you go, Keisha. That is the one. That is the one. I love that too. I'm going to put that somewhere so I can see that every day because I really, really do like that. But with that, you all have a great rest of the evening, a great week. Stay safe. All of my panelists, stay on. Don't leave anywhere. And we will catch the rest of you next month.